Okay, I'm gonna turn down the music a bit. There we go. Felt like you played a lot more. Yeah, I played a lot more, Jith. This ain't all of it. I just want to go through the new releases and a little of the old ones that, or previous ones that caught my interest. Okay, let me go to the sheet. So, I've played. Hold on, I need to actually capture the cursor. That should do it. Okay. I have played. It says I can capture the cursor, yeah, so. There we go. Let me just put that right there. Okay. So, I have played all of these games. The only one I have not played to completion is No Skin. But that's because No Skin is a roguelite. I've seen the credits, but I have not gotten the true ending of it. But that's an entire process that I still don't know how to fully grasp. Because I could get to the end of a regular run, but to get the true ending, you have to go beyond that, and I don't know how to access that. But no. I have played No Skin, Everhood 2, Expedition 33, Doom the Dark Ages, Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, this one I streamed, Night Rain, Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4, I'm gonna count them separately, Mario Kart World, Peak, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, Torii Saturn, Hollow Knight Silksong, Sonic Racing Crossroads, Pokemon Legends ZA, this one I also streamed, Sonic Rumble, and Kirby Air Riders. I do not have any other games from 2025 in my backlog that should be noteworthy, but there were more games I wanted to play that came out this year. Like, I wanted to play Dispatch, a friend got me interested in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, so that's a bit on my radar, and Split Fiction's also up there. But I haven't played any of those. So, we will go over. So, how this is going to work is that we're going to go over games, the games I played this year, rank them, talk about some of the games I'm interested in that come out next year that we have a confirmed release date on. Well, with Slay the Spire 2, it's a little iffy, but I want to talk about it a bit. Talk about some games I played last year that are somewhat noteworthy. Then we'll talk about movies and then TV shows, and then I'm just going to call it there. So, okay, let's get into it. Okay. So, I wouldn't say any of these games I played are bad, but there is one that left me more disappointed than any of them. And that was Everhood 2. No, it was not Mario Kart World, sorry. So, I played the original Everhood last year. It is a indie game inspired by Undertale, which, when you play it, you can clearly tell it's by someone who loves Undertale. And I wouldn't say that's a bad thing, because I think Everhood, with its gameplay and its unique stylization, made it stood out from Undertale. if you haven't played Everhood, I recommend the first Everhood. It is a indie gem and one of the most and probably the most underappreciated game of 2021. The sequel, I don't even know how to describe the sequel, honestly. Everyone who plays this game has one thing they always talk about, and that's the slime girl who has boobs. I don't know if that's gonna get me banned on Twitch or whatever, but that's literally it. Like, it's a girl who has boobs, but she's made of slime. That's it. The gameplay is the same. I don't remember. I know you can upgrade your weapon, but the original didn't have weapons. There was like a color system where if you just grab the colors of certain waves enough times, the attacks would get stronger. The boss fights were fun, but I had no idea what was going on in the story. It just felt like things were happening and you didn't really impact the plot all that much. Whereas while I wouldn't say the original games has like a super compelling story, it's not like Undertale. At least its cast was charming. I couldn't remember much about the cast in Everhood 2. And I played this game like 2 months ago. It's not like the worst game I ever played. It's like a solid, like, it's a game that exists. That's the best way to describe it. That's done. Okay. When you beating Hades 1? I already beat Hades 1. Oh yeah! I can show you real quick. I've beaten Hades 1. See, Persephone, I beat it. I do want to play Hades 2, Jith, don't worry. It looks right up my alley. Okay. So, okay. No, you beat one run, haha, you didn't get credits. How many times do you have to beat it to get credits? Oh, good lord. Okay. Plus there's an epilogue. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. So, yeah, that's really the only game worth talking about where it wasn't good. I guess, like, Sonic Rumble is next. Because, like, Sonic Rumble is just clearly Fall Guys, but it's Sonic. So, there's not really a lot to say about it. I have fun with it. I've been playing it constantly. Mario Kart Robo without listening to the music. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Hold on, friend. I'm trying to de-add me. I had to explain how I'm streaming. Okay. Love all this Zeno music. City's night theme. Yes, it is. Or it's just called The City. I think it's just regular City. Okay, there. Okay. So, like, yeah, Sonic Rumble. I like it. It's definitely a mobile game, but given the fact that it's on PC and on Steam means I'm gonna play it more than Fall Guys, despite the fact I have an Epic Games account. I think City's a little more upbeat, but who knows? Well, it's been. I have not touched Xenoblade 3 since it came out. I want to keep my memories and my emotions through that game as pure as possible. Actually, I forgot to check what game's free on Epic today, because we're getting like a free game every day in December. Viewfinder, never heard of it. Okay. So that's Sonic Rumble. That was quick and easy. Okay, now our options are The Pokemon game that is the yin to Arceus' yang. The indie game that is the best of that series so far. Or the kart racer. No, sorry, no. The game that gets worse the more I think about it, and the kart racer that gets worse the more I think about Nintendo's practices. We can go either way. I'm gonna give it the Tori Saturn. Tori Saturn's a short, simple game. It's by one guy. He is known for Tori, but he's worked on other games like Super Kiwi 64, Beanie, and there's one more, Aerobat. I think it's not Aerobat, Macbat. I think, I don't know. Tori Saturn is his recent game in that franchise. It is the best Tori game. It has the best pacing. It has the most consistently fun levels. It has really strict rankings, and they're satisfying to get. But like, there's not much to talk about with Tori Saturn. It's short, sweet. It's short and sweet. It's also pretty cheap. Like, I put an hour into it, and that game costs like $5, I think, which is about the same amount of time I put into Lunistis, which was $5 and was pretty short as well. But I recommend giving the Tori games a try. They're pretty fun, especially if you like fast-paced platformers. Okay. Oh, this is actually getting hard. Fuck. Ooh, I think I think I actually have to give this one to Pokemon. Pokemon Legends Z to A. Okay. I do not hate this game. Giving it what? It's the game of the... It's the most, oh my god, how can you screw up a concept like Arceus award? So, Jiff, I think you could vouch for me. Legends Arceus was good. Like, it has its problems, and it is a 2022 Pokemon Switch game. Legends Z to A was an improvement. I wouldn't go that far. No one would care if it didn't have the Pokemon. I mean Arceus. Yeah. Pokemon name. Yeah, that is true. Like, with Z to A, I had fun in the combat because, okay, straight up, Z to A is fun when you're battling. Like, it's very different from what's typical of Pokemon. It's much more action-focused, and there's actual strategy involved with it. Arceus was an improvement. Without the Pokemon IP, nobody would have paid any attention. Yep, that's true. Like, when I learned that special attacks needed to be charged up, and that physical attacks can be right then and there, I was like, oh, there's strategy involved in this. I just know it. I played the multiplayer for this game. One of my friends' friends wanted some trading, and I asked him if he wanted to battle. We did, and it's very different compared to regular competitive Pokemon. I've heard the ZA DLC map is just Lumiose, but now it's white. That's that's one of my problems with this game. Are we really, like, why are we stuck in Lumiose the entire game? It's not even that big. Like, you have these, like, mobility options, and you're stuck in this confined area. It's not fun. Like, even capture zones, like wild zones, they're not that interesting because it's just a part of Lumiose, but there's Pokemon there now. Also, most of the new Megas are garbage. Like, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Like, I literally look at Mega Excadrill and I'm like, you look like a Gurren Lagann character. Um, the whole appeal of Legends was the cool, different, sprawling landscapes that felt wild, or at least an attempt at it, unlike the wild. So yes, that's what I mean by Z to A is the yin to Arceus' yang, because Legends Arceus focuses on its capturing mechanics. Whether you think it succeeded or failed is up to you. Z to A is more about its battles, yet it's trying so hard to keep what made Pokemon special. Hold on, I'll move into my forward a little bit. It's trying so hard to keep what makes Pokemon special, but it just doesn't do that. Sword Valley? Yes. Yes, it is Sword Valley. You're good. I will say this, one thing about the story in Z to A that caught me off guard was its ending, like its final scene. Like I did not expect that, like, at all. It's I heard the ending was decent. Yeah, it happened. Like, I didn't hate any of the characters. My favorite was the Crime Syndicate boss. He was the best one, and that's just objective fact. It's still Pokemon though. I'm a blind hater, loud and proud. Go right ahead. I had fun with this game, but I'd rather play Arceus. And I do not. And this game was the spawn of many leaks that showed us how these games are made. And I still stand by this. Pokemon needs to get their priorities fucking straight. Because we do not. Because Pokemon, for the #1 highest grossing franchise, why are we putting like 0. Remember the leaks where it showed the budgets for these games? And how they were like 0.001% of what they make? I'm sorry, but in this current generation of Nintendo, you need to do more than just pass by. Yeah, it's pathetic. We do not... Why are these games the same budget as... I'm pretty... Like... $70 to $80. Yeah. I think it was $70. I think I spent like $70 on my Switch 2 edition. All I'm gonna say is that these games should not have the same budget as Lost Soul Aside, which is reportedly have the 1/10 of Wukong's budget, aka about the budget you expect from an indie studio. Lost Soul Aside has its problems from what I can tell, but that thing looks better than Pokemon nowadays. Okay, okay, I crossed that out. Okay, now then, do we have the game that gets worse with time, or the game that gets worse with every time they update it? I don't know what it is, but I will side against Pokemon. It's because you played Sword and Shield. That's when every Pokemon fan realized, oh, we're fucked. We'll go with Mario Kart World with this one. This game, holy shit. If there's one thing Nintendo sucks at, I don't know this one, some Agnes Colony. I think it is Agnes Colony. Yeah, it's literally Agnes Colony. You were right on the money. Mario Kart World. Ugh. Mario Kart World, it's not bad. It's far from bad. But I think my friend Uxer, it's $80. Yeah. That's why I said this game gets worse the more you think about Nintendo's practices. This game is $80 unless you get that bundle, which I think is intentional, because they want to go stray away from physical, which is the dumbest thing I've ever fucking seen. The game better bend over and suck my toes for that price. Here's the thing, though. When every update doesn't fix the problems people have, it's not going to be worth the price. Because, I'm gonna be honest, this game is a step back. Now, the tracks were good. The updates made some issues actively worse, didn't they? I'm sorry, but quiet, normal, and loud are not music options. You need a slider. There are good tracks in this game. Yeah, it's funny, but it's like, good lord, everyone wants accessibility options. You can't fucking give them properly. Tracks are good. I think the only ones I didn't like. Put that under accessibility innovations for TGI. Legit. The only tracks I didn't really like was Koopa Troopa Beach and Boo Cinema, and the one that was Rosalina's spaceport. I forgot what it's called. Star Peak, I think. Starview Peak, I think. Yeah. The other ones are good. I thought not acrobatic, but the tricks and wall riding were gonna be too simple, but they're not, and they actually can enhance some tracks. I think Shy Guy Bazaar in World is better than in 7 because of the trick system. The handling's not the same as 8 Deluxe, but I got used to it after a while. Fallen Arm Knight, yes it is. Pardon me. Nothing beats Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Except for Double Dash. I'm a Double Dash stan. People had a problem with, the intermission tracks. They fixed it, quote unquote. Like, the problem wasn't that they were long. The problem was that you're just standing there barely doing anything. The intermission tracks work the most in a Knockout Tour, which is basically Mario Kart Battle Royale, and it is the best mode in Mario Kart World, in my opinion. You start out with 32 players at the start, and you have to reach a certain placement before you can continue through the track. It's kind of like F-Zero in that sort of sense. It's hectic and it's really fun. Battle mode was boring. I did not like it. They just plopped down random areas in the game where you just duked it out, and it was really boring. I didn't really like Free Roam that much. It felt like a tech demo for what open world Mario Kart can be. Like, it's cool that everything's connected, but it's also like you have question mark panels and P switches, and that's it. Like, you could get costumes for the other characters, which is cool, I guess. It's the only way to get different colored Yoshis. But, also, it wasn't until I watched this video by a YouTuber called Kohana where I didn't notice this. Just move some things around, and the world of Mario Kart World kind of looks like Breath of the Wild. I wish I was joking, but I'm not. Literally, all you have to do is just switch where the snow area is with the volcano well area is, and literally it's Breath of the Wild. I wish this game had accessibility options, because, good lord, online is much more worse than you think. It's gotten to the point where Nintendo patched random selection just so that we can use those intermission tracks, and I hate it. I hate it so much. Yeah. And like I said, it's $80, and I don't think it's worth that price, even though it has Penguin. Yeah. Like I said, gets worse with the more you think about the practices Nintendo have been holding in recent years. Monolith Soft, please cook because Nintendo is not. Yeah, they know how to cook. Yeah, that's basically Mario Kart World. It has its moments, but I can't justify anyone playing this, honestly. And now, Donkey Kong Bonanza. So people like this game. This is like a hard one to talk about because there's a great video by Kohana, the YouTuber Kohana, about why he didn't like Bonanza, and I'm like, it's true though. The game just relies on you destroying the environment and being satisfied with it. So it's a collectathon. Well, collectathon. Well, no, it's not a collectathon. Because, so first of all, this game, it looks good. There were some moments where the frame rate dipped, but it wasn't that big of a hindrance. Fonts of Mima. Let me check. It is Fonts of Mima. I misspelled Bonanza. God help me. No, you're living the life, bro. I wish I was... Who the fuck remember Fonts of Mima? That is true, yeah. So, Bonanza looks good. Frame rate was mostly consistent. But, moveset-wise, it was good. But you had to unlock things via a skill tree. And I don't think skill trees work for platformers because I heard only good things about Bonanza. Well, I'm going to throw shit up its ass. Don't worry. Speaking of which, skill tree. I was talking about that. Platformers do not need a skill tree. I hate it when platformers have a skill tree. It does not justify... I do not want to be justified... I don't want a justification for why I have to fucking spend skill points just to earn the ability to spin jump. I never played it, so I'll take your word for it. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Like, you can beat the game without using the skill tree, but it's like you're losing the benefits of the power. Like, I can understand using skill points for the transformations, but for base form Donkey Kong, like, why? There are 17 areas in the game. I don't remember much about them, and if I did remember them, it was most likely for the fact you make it an unlock for basic movement. You had to unlock, you literally had to unlock spin jumping. Like the ability to turn your turn the left stick, and then jump so that you could spin in the air. It's so stupid. Hey Perry. There are 17 areas. None of them really intrigued me. And if they did, it was because I thought Bionic Shoulder next. Which one? Wait, there's only one Bionic Shoulder. I'm fucking stupid. I don't think much about Future Connected. I was thinking what game? Like, this game has a layer where it's all food. And the thing that came to my mind was, we did this in Odyssey. I think the only thing that this game does that Odyssey... The only thing Odyssey does that this game doesn't have is that it has, fucking not Elden Ring, Skyrim Dragon. Where's Perry? Is he on YouTube? Yes, he is on YouTube, Jeff. He is on YouTube. Perry... Oh, there we are. Okay. So it's like you're taking archetypes from Odyssey, which is fine. But the thing is, The problem I have with Bonanza is that there's really nothing to do in the levels. You just go around and smash terrain, and that's it. Like, it's fun for, like, the first, like, few layers, but then, like, after, like, layer 4, it gets boring. They have transformations, which vary up the gameplay enough, but they're tied to a meter around them. Like, it's tied to a meter where you can transform into them, but you fill up that meter so quick that I just asked why is that in the game? How different was Bonanza from Mario Odyssey beyond the level destruction? It literally, I mean, in Odyssey you had to collect moons to progress. You don't have to do that in Bonanza. The progression in Bonanza is different. You literally just have to go from point A to B. You don't have to collect a single banana, and you don't have. And I think the only thing you have to upgrade is your punch strength to destroy certain terrain. I think that's it, honestly. Yeah. I think it took me like 10 hours to beat Bonanza, if I remember correctly. I didn't buy Bonanza, by the way. I borrowed it from my father, because I didn't really feel like it was going to be my thing. Like, Bonanza was like, unless it releases on PC, you know that ain't bitch, you know that ain't happening. The only thing that's keeping me from putting Bonanza below Mario Kart World is the finale. Because Bonanza has like one of the coolest finales in any game I've ever played. But other than that, I didn't really think much. Sorry, 10 hours for 70 bucks is insane. Yeah. Like, if you like Bonanza, good on you. It was fine. It's a game that gets worse the more I think about it, because I said this already. Kahana made a video about why he didn't like it. It kind of shapes that Nintendo is just in. Ratchet & Clank was $70 and it was shorter. That is true, but Rift Apart I would play over Bonanza, honestly. But like, I mentioned this. Bonanza showed me why I'm not loving recent Nintendo games as much as others. They all feel the same. Like, after Breath of the Wild, it's all like openness and skill trees and and so many things to do, and it's just like, I kind of want a Zelda. I want a like, I'd rather they just make I'd rather they take the I'd rather they try to do another Donkey Kong 64 than sticking with what Nintendo does, which is big open worlds. And I'm honestly sick and tired of these big open worlds. I'm just sick of it at this point. Bonanza. Okay. Okay, so now we're reaching 8 out of 10 territory. So that means it's Doom the Dark Ages, Peak, Ninja Gaiden Bound, Ninja Gaiden Rage, and Ninja Gaiden Rage Bound. Doom Dark Ages was okay. Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden Rage Bound is a callback, well, not callback mechanically to the Ninja Gaiden games. It is connected to the 3D ones because Ryu Hayabusa is in the opening, but that's it. It's like a little off adventure. Levels are pretty straightforward. I thought the mechanics were solid and it felt good. It was just a solid 2D platformer. 2D platformer hack and slash. But the only noteworthy thing I had about it The only thing I remember about it, besides it being fun in the moment, was the look, because it's by the same people who made Blasphemous, and I recently bought Blasphemous, so that'll be interesting. I do want to play Shinobi though. That's definitely a game I want to try it at some point. Let's go. Hold on, am I missing anything? No, I'm not. Okay. Let's go with Doom. So, people were split on this game when it came out. I heard people love it, and I heard people hate it. I picked it up on Game Pass before I canceled it. And, I had fun. I wouldn't say I like it more than Eternal, because Eternal just does everything I wanted out of Doom to begin with. But I did like it more than 2016. I guess that's my hot take. I shouldn't have dropped $70 on Dark Ages, bro. Well, I was gonna say join Game Pass gang, but Game Pass gang is dying because Game Pass is so expensive now. I didn't really think much about the story in Dark Ages. It was literally hype moments and aura, the story, which I don't mind. Doomslayer looks cool as fuck either way, especially with his new suit. Like, the whole cape thing and shield just... mwah, perfect. People say there are no glory kills in this game. That's half right and half wrong. You don't do like regular glory kills, but when you're defeating certain bosses or buffed up enemies, you can you get glory kills. Like, you just can't do it on regular enemies. My laptop probably couldn't handle Dark. Can your laptop handle E33? But the shield was, I think it ran well except for some of the open world. Like overworld. Yeah, I don't think E33 was that demanding though. I didn't have the graphics card for E33 when it came out, so I had to play on Xbox. Pardon me. Sorry, I'm drinking OJ while doing this. The shield was fun. I thought the shield was fun, but I didn't think it was worth it to have to skip out on a sniper rifle. The guns are fun. I think design-wise, they look fucking cool. Like, the pulverizer, I think it's what it's called, is the one where you use the skull of your enemies to do AoE damage and later on like a focus point of damage, and that's probably my favorite gun in the game. Yeah, exactly. Also, this is like the first game I played with forced ray tracing. I do not think I don't think it justified itself to have forced ray tracing. Like, the game looks good, but did it really need that? I feel like if you had the ability to turn off forced ray tracing, it would run better on your laptop, Perry. Oh, that's another thing. This game got controversy because Nvidia drivers were fucking exploding over this game. I think 2016 is way better, but it's like comparing apples to oranges. All that matters is that Eternal is still the best Doom game, but I don't think Doom fans are ready for me to say this. I like Halo more. Though Halo is fucking dying to me, given what 343 Studios said recently. That makes me want to fucking strangle them. Gar Plains slash Bionis Leg Knight. Yeah, Gar Plains. Yeah, I heard about the PC problems for Dark Ages. Another reason I got it for PS5. Ah, makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. No, there's not really much to say about Doom: The Dark Ages. I think my main problem is that there's well, for one, the bosses still fucking suck. Let's be honest. It's slower than. And I need to play Halo. Should I wait for the PS5 remake? Just pick up the Master Chief Collection, bro. You get 6 games in one. Also, Halo 4 is not that bad. Halo 4 is whatever. Wait. Problems I can think of with Doom: The Dark Ages. 1 through 4. I like the second last boss fight, and I have the Master Chief Collection. I just never played it. Play it. Play it in the order. Play it. It tells you to play Reach first. Play 1 first. Go in release order with Halo. Do not start with Reach. You will spoil yourself on 1 and 2. Well, mainly 1. Next is Peak. I think, Perry, you can vouch for me on this one. Peak is one of the best multiplayer games ever made. Like, yeah, you have your, Crossworlds, your Air Riders, and your Night Rains, but there's just something about Peak that just hits the right spot. Pardon me. No, Jith, you don't understand. Jith. They somehow made climbing the most stress-inducing thing ever. But when you finish a run, like, from beginning to end, it is the most satisfying shit ever fucking produced. The little I played is Split Fiction. I have not played Split Fiction. Though, since I have a new graphics card, I probably will pick it up and ask someone to play for it. But, I think my one problem with Peak is... The one problem I have with Peak, I will give it this. So, when I picked it up, when I first played it, they released a new biome, which was the, woods. I think that biome's too hard for it to be the second biome you go through. Especially when the, there's a certain biome that's, like, easier than it. That's, like, way later. Which isn't the volcano. Because the volcano biome is the last one. Yeah, the forest is wacky, yeah. It took me and my friends an hour just to get through the fucking forest. And I have proof that I've beaten this game. Let me grab it real quick. Well, beaten a run, specifically. Peak. Here. I think all the new biomes are intended for people who play the game extensively already. I guess, but I feel like they needed to switch up some of the biomes. But like, Peak's good. I play it every now and again for game sessions with friends in a community server I'm in. So I definitely will be playing more of it in the future. Next is the 9 out of 10s area. And the first 9 out of 10 is gonna be Fantasy Life I. Jith, if you hate Pokemon, you need to play this game. Oh, they do switch? Oh, I did not know that. But, Fantasy Life I, it is a sequel to the, hidden gem on the 3DS called Fantasy Life. I love Fantasy Life. I still need to work. I need to get to work on that video at some point. So I was excited for the sequel, and I picked it up on Switch 2, Japanese copy, because Americans are fucking wusses with physical copies nowadays. And I had a really great time with it. They improved the life sim aspect of it, because I don't remember if this, because I remember in the original, you had to stick with one life throughout the game. I've taken a pause on my next video. I had some big life changes. Yeah, switching to Da Vinci, bro. I remember in the original, you had to stick with one life through the main story, and then after that you could switch your lives. No, not editing, moving. Well, oh, okay, that makes sense. I have not been motivated. I've been too motivated. I immediately when I got back home yesterday, I locked the fuck in and got some work done on my new video. I almost have the first major section done, but they get shorter the more I go in. I lock in when I'm settled. I lock in when I'm settled. Lock in sooner. I'll lock in when I'm settled. We'll get settled sooner. The life sim aspect was better. Combat's simplistic, but that's what I expect from a game like Fantasy Life. If I had one problem I had with it, it was that it's clear that they wanted you to play the ever-living shit out of it daily, because I had to end a stream early because I couldn't meet requirements. And the requirements I had to make were for unlocking characters, which is tied to playing the game once a day. But story was cute. Presentation was better than Pokemon. The game recently hit 1.5 million copies sold, which makes me happy, because Level 5 honestly needed that money. Because if you don't know, Level 5 in the mid-2010s was, like, in the late 2010s, were not doing well because they banked all of their money on Yokai Watch, which was a Pokemon clone. And if you're not Digimon, your Pokemon clones are suffering. Also, the new lives in this game are pretty cool, but they didn't really do much for me, except for Farmer, surprisingly. Okay. Yep. I was there. I was a kid. I was like preteen when Yokai Watch was like big. There was like a game, there was an anime, there was a lot of merchandise, and they made like fucking 3 sequels. Okay. Elden Ring. Yep, hold on. There we go. Elden Ring Night Rain fucking slaps, y'all. I played... I have not played the DLC yet. Night Rain is not the same thing as regular Elden Ring, Perry, trust me. Elden Ring Night Rain... I don't know if I'll get into Night Rain. You need like 2 bros sitting in a hot tub 5 feet apart, because we're not gay. So, Night Rain is a cooperative 3-player game where you... It's like a roguelite where you... Is it... Nice Vine reference. Thank you. It was by Anthony Padilla, surprisingly. You go around the map, grabbing as many upgrades as you can, so that you could fight the major boss at the end. I did almost all of the basic game bosses except for the Night Lord. And they were all pretty cool. I forgot his name, but the Ice Dragon was cinematic as shit. There are many different playstyles that can tailor to different needs. My playstyle is the dexterity build, where you have a katana that you use to parry, which is really satisfying, and it's tied to a certain game down here. It's basically like FromSoft's version of Risk of Rain 2, I want to say. But it's not that same structure. But if you played Risk of Rain 2 with friends, it's pretty much the same, but there's a beginning and an end in Elden Ring. Whereas Risk of Rain 2, you can get an ending, but mostly you're just like playing it for as long as you can. I've heard mixed things about Night Rain. It's a love it or hate it game, yeah, and I really enjoyed it, but it's, as you can see, it's number 9 on the list. I don't think it's my favorite thing in the world, but I had fun with it. I think the next game is No Skin. These two are pretty interchangeable in all honesty, but I'm gonna give it to No Skin because it's fresher on my mind, honestly. No Skin was pretty fucking awesome. This song was a banger. Which one was this? This feature redeemed? No, it's Tanto. I'm stupid. Okay. Reminds me of a 2000s rock band. Yeah. No Skin is a roguelite RPG by one guy, and it has one of the best atmospheres in any game I've played. The mechanics are simple. What keeps me going back is A, how short it is, and B, it's gambling. I haven't heard of No Skin. Yeah, makes sense. It's one of the not lesser indies, but one of the lesser talked about indies of the year. Its atmosphere is masterful. It is like drenching in. It's drenched in it. Its music sets the tone. It has like It has a little body horror, but not like fear and hunger levels. So it's not as bad as that. The mechanics are simple. You have a melee weapon and a gun. You can pick up your items. It doesn't cost a turn. You can pray to the goddess to minimize damage to 1 hit point, or you can try to escape. But what I love about it is that you have to travel to certain areas, and the game will tell you the chances of getting a certain event happening in a room. Like, you can run into a person and you have to fight them. You can run into a fish with legs and arms that will sell you items. You can run into the doorman, who, if you destroy it, you can get a bunch of keys that can do certain effects depending on the event you're on. And you can run into frogs that can give you permanent upgrades or new weapons. But it's not consistent, so each run is different. And that's what the appeal is to me about No Skin. I put in let me check how long I put into the game so far. I put in about 5 hours into the game at the moment, and I still want to go back for more. I have yet to get the true ending. I did a run I did the full 100% run, but I did not find the No Skin Man skin. So that will be for later on. There is no... I don't remember the story to this game. I think you just get hella drunk and that's it. But yeah, no skin is great. Right now I prefer it over Night Rain, but I might prefer Night Rain over it. One, two, three. Oh, I undernumbered. I did not think through all of this. What is this song? There we go. Nope, that's the wrong number. There we go. Okay. Sonic Racing Crossroads. This game slaps. So, I didn't have much... I want to get this game eventually, yeah. I did not have much anticipation for this game, in all honesty. Like, Sega's doing better recently than the 2010s, because they actually have the fucking money to do shit now. But here's the thing. After $70 is too much. Yeah, that is true. But here's the thing with Sonic Racing Crossroads. It came from a post-Team Sonic Racing world, and Team Sonic Racing is the most budget spin-off I have ever seen from the Sonic franchise, and I played fucking Sonic Genesis on the Game Boy Advance. Yeah, that's a good thing about Sega games. They're on sale a lot because they actually know how the fuck to sell to customers. But I played the open network test when it first dropped, and it was really fun. Like, I played it with Iggy, I've raced against Sam Procrastinates, and I'm still low-key fucking salty that I got an error when I was about to beat his ass. But I had fun. Then I picked up the game. I wasn't going to originally pick it up around launch, but a certain friend of mine said I didn't have the money for it. I had to prove him I did have the money for it. I bought it, and that was stupid in hindsight. But I played every track. I played some of the DLC tracks, because surprisingly, you don't need the DLC to play them as long as you play online. Like, I played the Minecraft track. They are regularly updating the game, so it's gonna have longevity. Buying a game that flexes is crazy. That is true, yeah. I think Sonic Racing Crossroads is the second best Sonic... third best Sonic... No. Second best Sonic Racing game. It has enough content. All the tracks are fun. There are some okay ones in there. I think the first few tracks or whatever, they're pretty standard first tracks. But there are some bangers, like White Space, Sea Star Islands, Eggman Expo, the Don Puff Factory. There's the Minecraft World banger courses. I don't know what to expect from the gimmick of this game, which is the transitioning stages, but I think they really did a good job of it, because you're not getting the same ones all the time, because there are 17 transition tracks, like your white jungles, your sweet mountains, and your starlight carnivals and digital circuits. But you can also get transported to another stage. And there's also the random event transitions where you can get like, oh, you can get your drift can charge faster, or you could get infinite white wisp while you're on this track. It varies up the gameplay a lot, and it really makes the game more replayable, honestly. There's a great selection of characters, new faces and old. Voice acting's okay. Game looks fine. Soundtrack's pretty good, but I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites. The time trials are hard as fuck because there's rankings for them. I've gotten the A's so far, but I want to try to get S's at some point. I think I got S on one at the moment. I also like how they handle the character customization, because characters have certain archetypes to them, and so do the vehicles. So let's say you want to be let's just say you want like speed, but you don't want to play a power type character. You could like play as like Zavok and have a speed cart. And the pros of having a power type character is that they can recover from items faster than most others. Like, there's actual strategy and skill involved in Sonic Racing Crossroads, which makes it one of the most fun racing games I've played this year. And just one of the most fun racers. I still prefer Transformed over Crossroads, because I honestly like it when Sega pays homage to their history in games. It got snubbed. Bro, I heard people booing over Mario Kart World when we were watching the Game Awards. It was hilarious. Okay. One more 9 out of 10 on the list. Deltarune Chapter 3. We waited 4 years for this chapter, and after playing it, it was worth it. Chapter 3 is really fun. I like it more than chapters 1 and 2. Out of the 2 chapters that came out this year, it has a lighter tone compared to 4, and I think that's for its benefit for the story overall. That doesn't mean there's somber moments, because I think Tenna's backstory is really sad. And I'm gonna be honest, at first I wasn't that big on Tenna, but after that reveal I really liked him. This one has more gameplay variety. It has a higher focus on mini-games compared to chapters 1 and 2. None of them are bad. They literally added a fucking, like, Zelda mini-game in there, and it was, like, really funny. The combat's good. Music's really good. But I think chapter 4 still has it beat in terms of its music. I don't want to spoil much about Deltarune's Chapter 3 and 4, so they're going to be really short. I do recommend picking up Deltarune, though. Chapter 5 comes out next year, and you only need to pay that $20 because they're just gonna update the game with they're gonna update the game in the future. Okay, now we reach 10 out of 10s. Kirby Air Riders? I love Kirby. I played Air Ride for the first time this year. And, so you bet your ass I was super excited to play, Air Riders when it was revealed. And now I've done every mode. Bro, but Perry, City Trial. So I'm gonna go mode by mode. Air Ride is still fun. I think the tracks are better in Air Riders than in Air Ride because they really hone into the strengths of the Air Ride mode. And the game's also a lot faster than the original, or you can feel the speed more than the original. That's more so. Not really much I could complain about with Air Ride. They improved it and it's better. Top Ride is so much better. Tracks are not small anymore. They're a adequate size. The controls feel better. And they're just short and sweet as well. But City Trial, everyone who's played Air Ride and Air Riders know that City Trial is the mode with these games. And they're right, because City Trial is my favorite mode in Air Riders. It is so fucking hectic. Having 16 players just go around collecting stat increases, and then random shit happens, or they get pummeled with random shit that can just throw everything off. Like, oh, I got hit with the fighting copy ability and that destroyed my vehicle. Now I need to find another vehicle that will entirely change how I will make my build. The map for City Trial is bigger, and there's a lot more going on in it, so by that definition, it's better than the original City Trial. There are plenty of characters to play as. Each one has their own special. Certain characters are better in City Trial, and certain characters are better in Air Ride mode. Like, Magalore's better in City Trial, but Meta Knight might be better in Air Ride because of his special ability. Now, if you're honestly, if you're playing Air Riders, you're playing it for City Trial. Let's be honest, it's the best part. Road trip mode. I don't normally like single player modes in games Sakurai directs unless it's Chrono Icarus Uprising, because that truly is a one player game that has multiplayer stitched onto it. I thought Road Trip was fun. The story was weird. I remember that. I didn't really need lore on why there are certain things have machines or not. Like, it made no... Like, it was whatever. It was pretty much like a one-and-done roguelite mode that doesn't take forever. And it has, like, the typical Kirby things you expect, like bosses. It's super easy at the start, then it gets a little bit more challenging. That gothic horror, or like what the fuck is happening Dragon Ball level threat at the end. Like, it's not my favorite mode, and it's not my favorite thing in the world, but I thought Road Trip was pretty fun. I still pop in Air Ride. Like, some of these games I have I have not touched in a while. Like, I haven't touched Mario Kart World in a while, and it's been a month since I last played Crossroads. But Air Riders, I still play, because it's just so consistently fun. I need to play a good Kirby game one day. Play Planet Robobot. It is the literal Gurren Lagann of Kirby. Only one I played was Triple Deluxe. Triple Deluxe is good. What are you talking about? You didn't like one of the best Kirby games. We live in a society. Okay. So, Air Riders. I'm gonna get killed by Undertale fans for this. You thought it was boring? Holy... Bro, Kirby's just not for you then if that's the case. Jesus Christ. Chapter 4 is honestly going to be shorter than Chapter 3. Not in terms of this game, but in terms of this section. Because Chapter 4 is the most story-driven chapter in any of these in the game so far. There are so many reveals, twists, turns, that I honestly just don't want to say anything about it, honestly. I will say this, it has my favorite boss in any Undertale/Deltarune game. It has some of my favorite boss fight songs in any Undertale or Deltarune game. And I think it has the most insane twist in Deltarune so far. If you play the game, you know what I'm talking about. But no, like I said with Chapter 3, pick up Deltarune, it's $20. Chapter 5 comes out next year. And now for the final two. The Game of the Year sweeper, and the indie game that people literally went insane for 7 years over. Is Deltarune and Undertale connected? They are same characters, different worlds, basically, is the best way to describe it at the moment. Though it could change with chapters 5, 6, and 7. So, I played ETH, so like Majora's Mask, yeah, kind of, yeah. Like, you'll play it and you'll be like, oh hey, I know that character, but they're not going to be that important to the story early on. So, I played E33 before it became like this big cultural phenomenon in the world of gaming. And I recently finished Silksong. I got everything in Silksong. In fact, I got every upgrade. I did almost every quest. And I got every ending. I think that should go to show how much I love these two games. Fun fact, I was not the biggest fan of Hollow Knight at first. I replayed it this year, for Silksong when it first got announced. Well, not announced, when the release date got announced. And I learned to love Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is now one of my favorite games. Silksong is also one of my favorite games now. I don't know if I like Silksong more than the original, but Silksong just has this flow to it compared to the original that is just so much better. The atmosphere is still masterful. The soundtrack really helps with that. In fact, the bosses are even better in Silksong. Hornet is just more fun to play as than the Knight from Hollow Knight. I remember when the game was first shown, I was afraid that Hornet was just gonna have like not as much customization as the Knight. But no, the Hornet is much more versatile than the Knight in terms of her moveset. Because you have so many tools, so many adhesives, so many ways to play, like actual moveset changing ways to play, that it's insane. And you also are so much faster. Hornet gets a dash, run animation, downward thrust. What else? She also gets a, stab attack where she throws her spear, and if you cling onto something, she jolts towards it. It's so fun. I don't remember much about the story. Apparently it's, like, inspired by religion, which makes sense, but I don't remember much else about it other than that. The world design's immaculate. I think the one thing about Silksong that keeps me from pardon me, felt that coming. Sorry, I didn't want to speak. What keeps me from loving it as much as most people is that I think that the world of Silksong's too big. Like, a run of Hollow Knight, 100%, can last me about 12 hours. It took me almost 24 hours to beat all of Silksong, and there's DLC coming, and I'm afraid of that. Areas are much more bigger in Silksong, so it feels much more of a hassle to go around in Silksong, I would say. I guess it's not that much of a big deal to most people because of the versatility of Hornet. But for me, when I got to the final area and was ready to fight the final boss, I just felt drained. And then we have Expedition 33. Like I said, I played this game before it was the cool hip game that it is now. The hip is not an exaggeration because now people, video gamer, RPG haters, fucking hate this game with a passion now. E33 is a magical game. Did it deserve all of the awards it got at the Game Awards? No, I don't think it should have been on Best Indie Game or some of the other ones, but E33 has this, not aura, but it has this, it's hard to describe, honestly. E33 is a game that if you love games like Xenoblade, Trails in the Sky, or not Persona, like it's taken its inspirations from like Lost Odyssey, the Mario and Luigi games, and all that stuff, and you can very well tell that. The story is immaculate. I was expecting one thing, but I got something else, and I got even more after that. If you play the game, you know what I'm talking about. I love the characters. Mayel is one of my favorite protagonists in any game now. The voice actors for her deserve the awards. It was phenomenal. The combat is amazing. It is my favorite turn-based combat system. It blends turn-based with action, and I didn't expect it to work as well as it did in this game. Because while I do like the Mario and Luigi games, it definitely tends to lean more towards turn-based than being a reaction game. E33 is a reaction game. Boss fights are amazing. The game has a huge ass spectacle that just blows you away. The soundtrack is immaculate. Lumiere is one of the best songs in the game. Like, a fucking town theme is one of the best songs in the game. Over one of the best boss fight songs I've ever heard in a video game, which is the final boss. Like, I honestly don't want to be like the typical guy and put E33 over Silksong, but E33, like, I'm sorry, but I just love E33, but keep in mind, it could have gone to either or. There's probably a universe where I put Silksong over Expedition 33. But honestly, I don't care. They're both masterpieces and some of the best indie games out there. Well, this shouldn't be quoted as an indie game, but I digress. Yeah, that's all of the games ranked, and that's probably the only time I'm going to rank the games. But, now let's talk about some of the games that I played this year that didn't come out this year. So, I recently got into Ace Attorney. Last year I got into Ace Attorney. I played the original trilogy and Investigations 1. I didn't have Apollo Justice trilogy yet, so I decided to jump into Investigations 2. Investigations 2 is probably the best Ace Attorney game out there. It fixes everything I had problems with in the first Investigations game, and they tell such a human story with Edgeworth because it goes into Edgeworth's past with him and his father, and it just, like, I think this should speak volume. The third episode in Investigations 2 is the best episode. That should just say it all. It's also one of those games I don't want to spoil much about because it is a story-driven game. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is my fourth FromSoft game. I have not played a lot of them. I played Dark Souls, Bloodborne, this one, and Elden Ring. I think Sekiro is my second favorite FromSoft game. I like Bloodborne more, but Sekiro is the most satisfying FromSoft game I've ever played. It's not a soul. It has the typical Souls. It has the typical Souls mechanics like stamina, bonfires, and losing your currency. But what makes Sekiro different is that it's an action game first and foremost. The name of the game isn't like having a certain build and toughing through a boss. Sekiro is all about parrying. You need to learn parry as soon as you can, or as fast as you can, to deal with bosses. Because you are not dodging. You can dodge, but the dodge frame is smaller than in Elden Ring and pardon me. It's much smaller than in Elden Ring and Dark Souls. And so when you land parries, you get like subtle, you get a sound that just hits you in the dopamine. Like, I did it. It's just the most satisfying just to do that. You also get you also get tools to help you with dealing with the bosses. I didn't use them that much, but the one I want to note, besides the firecracker, is the spear. I didn't know this until I used it against this boss, but Guardian Ape with the spear breaks that one in half. If you use the spear at the right moment and against Guardian Ape, you can deplete his posture a good chunk. Love it. And finally, Metaphor Refantasio. I like Persona. Persona 5 and 4 and 5 are fantastic games, and Persona 3 is good, but I think that game suffers from the Majora's Mask effect of it has good themes, and I think that's what's really good about it, but I don't think the gameplay did it for me to really love it as much as most people. Metaphor is by the same director as Persona 3, 4, and 5. But its gameplay is much more SMT focused, from what I've been told. I think the one they point to the most is Digital Devil Saga. I think that's the one. And if that gameplay is the same as Metaphor, I might love that game, because Metaphor is the most fun Persona game. Or Atlas game at the moment for me. Metaphor's gameplay is based on that one, and I think it's much more satisfying to string together these moves. Oh, fuck, I'm losing breath here. I don't talk this much mostly. To string together all the ways you can get more turns out of your abilities, that it just feels so good. It also helps that the game has the Final Fantasy V job system with its archetypes. It's not like Persona, where your main characters can have as many personas as he wants, while the side characters don't only stick with one. You can choose whatever archetype on whatever character you want, and it is great. Like, I may not like the summoner, so I can just use the thief or the seeker or the knight. It's very, very good. And you need to use different archetypes to level up on certain characters so that you can get better archetypes. I also like how they shortened confidants in this game. They're not called confidants, they're called bonds, but I like how they shortened bonds in this game to 8, because one of my problems with Persona confidants is that by like 9 or 10 you don't really get much out of those characters anymore, whereas in Metaphor I think they nailed it. Like, I felt like every character was given their just dues, and they really just felt conclusive at the end, especially Haizme. Haizme is the best character in the game, by the way. The story really shook me. Like, I was just expecting, oh, this tournament. What I got instead was a deconstruction on fantasy, which I didn't know I needed. This game has honestly reshaped what I think of fantasy as a genre. and as an idea. All the characters are great. Luis is one of the fucking coolest villains in any Atlas game, and any RPG for that matter. The game looks fantastic, the soundtrack's great. It's just an all-around classic. I'm a little sad that no one talks about Metaphor anymore. Everyone's still like Persona 5, Persona 4, Persona 3. Guys. Metaphor is phenomenal though. I think it doesn't help that Metaphor is not under the SMT or Persona naming, so that doesn't help. To quickly go over games that are coming out next year I'm interested in. Oh, Shadows of the Lowland, my beloved. We're getting a new My Hero Academia game. I will quickly go over My Hero Academia later on. I have the first two games because I got them for Christmas. I am planning on making a video about the My Hero Academia games, so I'm keeping an eye on this one. Also, this one generally intrigued me because that free roam mode, and it has Fat Gum, and Fat Gum's one of my favorite characters. I picked up Slay the Spire recently, and I'm gonna play it on stream at some point this week or next week. I have high hopes for Slay the Spire, and I hope it will get me excited for Slay the Spire too. Mouse PI for Hire, I caught the reveal trailer because it was the same day that Steamboat Willie went into the public domain, even though Disney's still trying to keep that license when they should just let it go at this point. Master PI for Hire definitely is more so I'm interested to see how it looks than the gameplay, but I like boomer shooters, so we'll see. Phantom Blade Zero is my most anticipated game of next year. I've also been keeping up with this game, and that new trailer has everything I wanted. It looks like it looks like the Sekiro follow-up I needed or need. All that's left are movies and TV. I need to do some stuff, so I'm gonna try to go through these as quickly as possible. Mickey 17 was a disappointment. I wanted to love it because it's by the director who made Parasite, Jang Bong-ho. I hope I said that right. But Mickey 17 has one of the messiest scripts I've seen in a movie. It sets up many characters and moments that either go by too fast or are forgotten about pretty quickly on. To the point where it kind of made me feel like the whole is cloning or bringing someone back really justifiable. Just also, it doesn't help that the villain was very clearly supposed to be Donald Trump, and I can't get that out of my head, and I hated him. Like, it's not a bad movie, but I wish it could have been more. A Minecraft movie is one of the worst. It's the worst movie of the year. I watched this twice. Once by myself and another with friends. I felt nothing. I did not care for a single character. I did not really care that much about the memes. I thought the movie looked ugly. Like, I didn't find any of the jokes funny. I just did not like a Minecraft movie. I think the only part I remotely remember was Steve and the Aquaman guy, what's his character's name? Him being the gayest motherfuckers in any movie, and that's it. I don't have much to say about The Amateur. I don't remember much about it. It's your typical, like, John Wick impersonator where it's like, they killed an important family member and I'm gonna get revenge on them. I don't remember... All I remember about The Amateur was that the main character focused on his surroundings more than one-on-one a bit power, which I guess made it more distinct than John Wick, where John Wick is about all of the one-on-one slash group fights and how they can get as much as they can out of them. But other than that, I didn't really feel that much of a connection between the main character and his wife. It had Lawrence Fishburne in it, but this is one of the more forgettable appearances. Not really much to say about it. Sinners is probably my pick for the most overrated movie of the year. I need a drink, holy shit. Sinners was like the big movie of the year. And honest to God, I wish I could see it. I think the first half of Sinners is perfect. It is the best it's probably the best hour in a movie. But I think the movie falls apart in the second half. Because it, honest to God, feels like the vampire shit was forced into the movie. Than it being about whatever the fuck the main character's name was. Sammy. The acting was phenomenal. The movie looks gorgeous. Everyone talks about that one scene, and that one scene is great. But my favorite scene is the Rocky Road to Dublin scene. That is my favorite song in the movie, and that is my favorite looking part of the movie, with all of the vampires circling around the villain. But we take so long to get to the vampire fighting stuff that it honestly just doesn't add much to the movie. I honestly just wish it was just that certain group of people at that certain time period fighting against the Sammy and the other people. I don't want to get banned or like fucked on Twitch, so I'm trying to keep it as neutral as possible. And also, the movie was too long. I think if they just shortened the second half, it would have flowed much better. I do like the ending though. The ending is symbolic of the movie, so it works. But other than that, it was like an 8 out of 10 with like 2 10 out of 10 moments. The How to Train Your Dragon remake is a remake that exists. It's just How to Train Your Dragon Game of Thrones. The only improvements I liked were that the side characters were not as annoying. But that's it. Elio is a Pixar movie that exists. It is the most mid-Pixar movie I've seen. I don't remember much about it. I watched it like a month ago. All I remember was that it has a Lilo and Stitch ending. The villain was not really that evil. And I didn't really like the side character. But that's really about it. K-pop Demon Hunters is probably the most popular movie of the year. When this movie came out, it took over the internet. And I think it took over a lot of kids' brains. K-pop Demon Hunters was good. I liked our main cast of characters. My favorite was Mira, I think is her name. Bobby is likable. The villains are good. The soundtrack slaps. Like, almost every song in that movie is a 10 out of 10. My favorite being Your Idol, by the way. That is like one of the best. That's the best song in the movie and one of the best villain songs. It's very cliche, but I didn't mind that. I just think K-pop Demon Hunters just has good energy. And that's really all I needed from it, and I really liked it. Pardon me. Superman is probably James Gunn's weakest movie. No, I haven't seen all of his stuff. I've seen all of his superhero movies. My favorite of his being Guardians 3 or The Suicide Squad. But I think Superman has a tonal problem, which is why I consider it his weakest film. The action was okay. Superman was well realized as a character, same with Lois. But the movie has the problem of trying to juggle the serious moments with the comedy. Like, my favorite go-to example is that Lex Luthor does something super evil right in front of Superman, and then the next scene you get an action sequence that plays a pop song that's trying to be more comedic, and that just leads to a tonal whiplash. The best thing about Superman is Lex Luthor, by the way. Lex Luthor in this movie is phenomenal. Like, I have not seen so much hater energy out of anyone in a superhero movie in a while. I think until Guardians 3, since Guardians 3. Like, it's not a bad movie, but I don't really get the hype for this one. The Naked Gun 2025 is probably my pick for the funniest movie of the year. I watched it with a friend, so that probably helped. But this felt like a... Well, this is like a parody movie that really understands the art of parody. But also, it felt like a movie that knew what made The Naked Gun so fun. Which is why it's so great. Like, my favorite joke in the movie is the, when all the police squad is mourning over the old characters, and then they reach to a certain actor who is not liked anymore, and then his son just says, no, we ain't doing this. Ugh. If you want like a fun time, just watch a Naked Gun. It understands what makes Naked Gun so special, and it's just a fun ride. War of the Worlds 2025 is the second funniest movie. It is hilariously bad. I watched this for the first time with friends, and that's how you should watch it. If you watch it by yourself, you're gonna hate it, but with friends, it is a riot. There are just so many editing and acting problems with this movie. Like, they cut through so many shots, and they just have so many moments where, like, something bad happens, and you just see a close-up of Ice Cube's face. It's so funny. My favorite moment in the movie is when the server shut down, yet he can still access Twitter. Which makes no fucking sense since Twitter servers normally don't fucking work most of the time. Honestly, I don't want to spoil much about War of the Worlds 2025. You just need to watch it to understand it. Wicked for Good. I really like the first Wicked. Probably one of the better musical to movie adaptations. But I did not have high hopes for Wicked for Good. I recently watched Wicked on Broadway, and my thoughts haven't really changed much. I think the first act of Wicked is solid and near perfect, but I think Act 2 is bad. So I was hoping for Wicked for Good to change up some things, but it didn't do that. Instead, it added to it. But I think these additions were for the better. Like, they reworked the Tin Man, which I liked a lot. The Tin Man in the movie is better than the musical. They added a line for the Cowardly Lion that makes his, that changes it for me. Like, honestly, that one scene really made that one cringe line from the Broadway show better. They added 2 new songs. I didn't really think much about Ariana Grande's song, but I thought Elphaba's song was pretty good. Trying to think of what other changes or additions they did. You get to see Dorothy now, which really sells the story more, I would say. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande still slay. Ariana Grande especially. They made some changes to the songs, and I didn't really notice them at first, but now I do, and I kind of am iffy on them. The best song in the movie is "No Good Deed," by the way. But Wicked for Good is still held back by the fact that it's Act 2 of Wicked. Like, the Scarecrow thing is still the dumbest thing, and it's like you could have saved him. You have a flying broom and flying monkeys. Like, why didn't you utilize your arsenal? Okay. For TV, Adolescence. Adolescence is 4 episodes long, each an hour, and it is the best TV show I have seen this year. It goes into male role models, the internet, and not body image, but how we should handle, like, how we feel about our bodies in the age of the internet. It is all done on one shot, and it is so compelling. Just the dialogue and the editing and the performances just sell every emotion conveyed by the characters. And it has my favorite ending line in any... it has one of my favorite ending lines in any TV show. It's like I said, 4 episodes, each an hour, but it is some of the best TV I have seen. And it's quickly risen to one of my favorite shows of all time. Rick and Morty Season 8 exists. I did not feel much towards this season. In fact, I didn't really think much about this season. I watched it and I was like, some ideas are cool. And then sometimes there's Beth being a fucking child. And I hate Beth a lot. More than you can possibly imagine. I hate it when Rick and Morty nowadays tries to be emotional, yet you realize that these characters are the most fucked up human beings ever made. Like, let's keep in mind, there's an episode where Beth turns into a child, both Beths. And you know what we learned from season 3? Beth is a fucking, like, psychopath. So, they really want us to care about Beth being so gung-ho about Rick leaving her all the way in season fucking 8. I did not feel much towards the finale. I don't remember many of the episodes, honestly. Like, for as much as I wasn't really a big of season 7, I at least remember the episodes in that season. Even the spaghetti one, which I didn't really like. Like, it's whatever. Rick and Morty season 8 exists. Devil May Cry. The first season came out last year. I watched it with my friend Iggy. I did not like it. Devil May Cry misses the point of Devil May Cry. And it has so many problems. So, the games are about killing demons, yet you want us to sympathize with certain types of demons. Hello, Nando. So you want us to get us to sympathize with certain types of demons. But that doesn't work in Devil May Cry. Like, the best episode of the show is the first episode, where it's just Dante killing demons. Because the rest of it wants us to focus on Lady and her traumatic past, which is fine. But then you want us to, like, get to know these demons more, when it's like, we didn't really need that. The villain was cool, but I didn't really think much about him except for his backstory. The finale of season 1 is the most hilarious shit ever, because they play a Green Day song over the American government destroying the demon world and taking it over. Yeah, bad show. Don't have much to say about Phineas and Ferb Season 5. If you like Phineas and Ferb, you'll like this. I don't have much to say about the songs. They range from okay to good, but nothing bad. Um, I don't remember. I think my favorite episode was the Troopius traveling throughout the tri-state area because it was just so fucking out of context. That was hilarious. But it's Fantasy Ferb. It's fun. Skeleton Crew. Okay. So Star Wars. I don't like Star Wars that much nowadays. Like, I watched that Mandalorian Grogu movie trailer and I was like, wow, this looks bad. But there is one show I like. Well, there is one Star Wars show I unapologetically love, and that's Andor. But my friend recommended I check out Skeleton Crew. And I think Skeleton Crew is pretty fun. It's a short and simple show. It's about 4 kids getting lost in the galaxy. And we just follow them trying to get back to their home planet. And it was it's just good at first. But then later on, when they introduce one of the new characters, it becomes great. Like, Jod is my favorite character in Skeleton Crew because he is so much more different he is so different and not what you expect from Star Wars. There are some cool planets, and I like the kids. I think my favorite one is the one who had who needs a thing to keep so that she can see. She was my favorite easily. And the finale was good. I don't know if I want a season 2, but I wouldn't mind a season 2 if they know what they're doing, if that makes sense. Andor is the best Star Wars show. Now it's over, is the best Star Wars show. Andor took a character that I had no feeling towards whatsoever and made him a compelling character to follow along with any other characters that are introduced in the show. Season 2, but we're focusing on Season 2 at the moment. Season 2 has so many fantastic moments. The siege, anything to do with Mon Mothma. Like, my favorite scene in Andor is the final scene where we see Andor's friend on a holding a child when it's highly suggested that it's his, but he will never know because he doesn't live to see her again. I know this season had production problems due to Disney being Disney, but I think they handled it as well as they could. And while there are some moments in Season 2 I'm not the biggest fan of, like, I think the first arc where Andor's stranded on a planet has to deal with the crew members, I thought that was not good. But I thought Season 2 was better than Season 1. But Season 1 still has the best episode of the show. Hack Season 4 is about on par with Season 3. So I watched all of Hacks this year. I love Hacks, by the way. Season 1 and 2 are fantastic, and Season 3 and 4 are masterpieces. For the 4th season, I was expecting them to go back to the way they were in Seasons 1 and 2. But what I like about Season 4 is that while they still have their disagreements, they still grow from each other and learn from each other, which makes them makes them one of my favorite show duos. My favorite episode is when it's when one of the character is when Deborah is not Deborah, fuck. When the second character, I forgot her name already. When she's about to lose her job, and Deborah sacrifices it all so that she could keep her job. It just shows that Deborah has changed thanks to I'm trying to remember her name. I don't know why I'm blanking on it. Hey Jith, we're near the end. Ava, that's her name. But yeah, Hacks Season 4 is phenomenal. I recommend Hacks in general. It is on HBO Max, and it is not only it is one of the best comedies I have seen. Same with Smiling Friends Season 3. Not that much to say about Smiling Friends Season 3. I think there are no bad episodes in this one. Well, not bad. Well, none of the episodes on Smiling Friends are bad. I think Season 3 has its weak episodes, but they aren't... Yeah. We'll get there. Like, the worst episode in Smiling Friends Season 3 is like a B tier episode. Like, it's still good. Whereas Season 1 has, Who Murdered Simon S. Salty, and, Season 2 has, Brother Zeg. Alan's the best character in Season 3, same with the boss. The Even episodes are the best episodes. I think my favorite one is still the Glep episode. But, yeah, no, Smiling is Friends. It's hilarious. My Hero Academia. So, I binge watched all of My Hero Academia in the span of 2 months to catch up with final season. And now that all of final season is over in both Japanese and English, I think final season's my second favorite season of the show. That or Season 3. It picks up from Season 7 because Season 7 adapted 2/3 of the final war arc. And final season ends it and gives us the epilogue arc. I wish they adapted the special chapter in final season, but they're just making its own thing now, which I'm fine with as long as we get that adaptation. So many moments in final season have been living in my head rent-free. Bakugo versus All for One, Stain in general, the final moment of episode 8, all of the epilogue arc. The music is phenomenal. The animation's Twitter was going insane over My Hero Academia when this season came out, and then One Punch Man fans were coping hard as shit. But it's just a nice, good end of the journey. They made some changes to the final episode from what I've been told, and are apparently for the better. So this is one of the few times where I think the anime does something better than the manga. Cause I know season 5 of the anime is not as good as the arcs they adapted in the manga. Oh, there we go. Yeah, no, love final season. I don't like it as much as season 6 because season 6 is peak, but if you like My Hero Academia, you probably know people love final season. Invincible season 3 is weird. This season is both like the best season and the worst season. There are cool developments regarding Mark and Cecil in Season 3. The final episode that revolves around Conquest is amazing. Like, Conquest is just one of the best villains in the show now. But my thing with Season 3 that doesn't make me love it is that, well, I love it as much as most people. It's this one simple thing, and it's that I think Season 3 does too much regarding Mark and Adam Eve that it kind of swept over the Invincible War. Because in the comics, the Invincible War was like much longer than it is on the show, from what I've been told. I don't have specific. I don't read the comics, and I felt like the Invincible War should have lasted longer than just one episode. Like, we get an episode where we just see Marks take over the world and destroy heroes, and major ramifications happen, but it's just one episode and then it just stops there. It just felt haphazard. Also, doesn't help that we have to focus on Mark going to the future and dealing with a villain that he doesn't have to deal with yet. Like, it's still a great season. I don't know, this is probably a hot take. I like Season 2 more than Season 3. Finally, The Last of Us Season 2. This season adapts to the first third of The Last of Us 2. And I will forever be a Last of Us 2 defender. I don't think it's this heaping pile of garbage that's more profound than it is. I think it's a beautiful story surrounding... It expands on the first game about family. But Season 2, with it being broken apart in this new structure, kind of made it not as good as Season 1. Like, the best parts of Season 2 are the first 2 episodes. Actually, no, yeah, first 2 episodes. Where we focus on Ellie's life in Jackson and the raid. Because they made changes that make sense for why Joel would be in the situation he is there, and makes it more reasonable as to why the decision of why Ellie and Dina go off by themselves instead of sending off people to go hunt Abby makes sense. The relationship between Ellie and Dina is better in the show because Dina is a more fleshed out character. And they kept some cute moments in the show, like the moment at the music store where Ellie plays on the guitar. But my thing is that there's so many decisions that make no sense, like Ellie appearing on the Scars Island just because we have to know that the Scars are there. Focusing on Isaac when Isaac should be the focus on... since Isaac should be the focus in Abby's story, not Ellie's. Like, it feels like it wants you to, like, know that this is The Last of Us 2, but does it, but more so than ever. And also, I don't hate Bella Ramsey. I think she does a great job as Ellie, but I think she looks too young to play an adult Ellie. Like, I like the season, and I can understand why people wouldn't be as big into Season 2. But, it was good. That's it. And that's honestly just going to be about it for the stream. I talked way too much. Like, fucking 2 hours of talking. So, we'll have a proper stream next time.